I'd like to introduce our second speaker for the evening, Mr. Leon Kenny. As mentioned previously, Leon recently traveled to attend a training session with Mr. John Maxwell, Leadership Week in Orlando, on becoming a great speaker. This speech for Leon will be 5 to 7 minutes. It's from the Speaking to Inform manual, Mr. Leon McKinney, sharing the process of becoming a great leader. Leon.
I can't tell you how excited I am to share just a couple of thoughts from my meeting with the John Maxwell team in Orlando. John Maxwell, just by way of introduction for some of you, has written a book entitled The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And what I'm speaking about tonight is one law, the law of process in becoming a great leader. And what fascinated me in watching over 1,000 people listen to this great communicator was how he embodied that process. The book that he originally wrote, The 21 Irrefutable Laws, is about 2/3 this size. And he talks about that each day he does 4 things: read, reflect, write, file, and hopefully help at least one person grow as a leader. So what is the law of process? Well, one of the laws is simply that to get better at anything, you have to have a process or a procedure. There's 5 steps here. One is, I know I don't know. That individual is where? In the dark. The second level is, I know I don't, I know I need to know. And that is a person who is now aware that they could have more of an impact if they had additional information or additional knowledge. I know I don't know, and I what? Have a plan. I have something that's going to help me get there. What's the 4th phase? I know and I grow. And the 5th phase is it begins to show, because you know and you've grown, and that's kind of the fruit of whatever process you're in. Fascinated me that one of America's greatest leaders at age 8 years old was told by his father, you're not going to amount to much because you're so unhealthy. You have the brains, but he suffered from asthma, he was homeschooled, and he began to work out. And it took a long time. This was a process. He eventually goes on to do what? He wins the Nobel Peace Prize. He becomes president. He saves the Grand Canyon. And some of you might know who I'm now talking about, Teddy Roosevelt. One of the greatest presidents in American history, and up on the I'm having trouble thinking of it. Mount Rushmore. Thank you for your help. So that process of what he went through helped make him great. So what might help us become better if we're to have an impact in this law of process? And I was going to bring my chair up here and set it here. So just imagine the empty chair here. Every one of you are participating in the law of process right now because you're in the process of becoming better as a speaker. I particularly applaud your courage because that was difficult and it showed. But you have the courage to stand up and be a part of the process to get better. And that will happen. And so we all need to articulate how we are going to become better as leaders. What process are we going to go through? What is our plan? And probably the most important part is the last part. And that's where her passion came through. It's the why. Why do we want to become better leaders? Where do we want to leave our impact? So if we have a plan and we keep growing, and that's what was so exciting to be a part of 1,000 people all working to become better leaders and to listen to their stories of how they're impacting other parts of the world. For example, last summer, 150 of the John Maxwell team went into the country of Guatemala. And they would not go unless all 10 leaders agreed. Now, what is a leader? Remember, it's not position. It could be somebody who owns half of the land of the country. And the Maxwell team would not go in there unless the politicians, the military, as well as some of the large landowners, and they analyzed the top 10 people of influence. And with 10 people buying in, they took 150 people through this process of training 10 people apiece. And their commitment then was to go out and train 10 more. So 150 people trained 1,500 who are committed to go through the process of helping 10 each, training an entire country to have better leadership through a process that is planned and other people using their leadership to make a difference in the world. Pretty big stuff. It's exciting to be a part of it. And I thank you for letting me share it.